Hi, and welcome to our next NPT Community Reformer class. So on my reformer today, I have my long box already set up, and I have one light blue spring on. So coming to stand in front of the carriage, I'm in my parallel hip distance apart feet. We're going to do some roll down. So fingertips maybe just placed in front of the foot bar where they're sort of not in the way. First one, we're just going to raise the arms up. So as we breathe in, reach the arms forward, send them up towards the ceiling, and just make sure that you're able to keep your rib cage well placed. And then you're going to breathe out and bring the arms down. Let's do a few more of those. Breathing in, feeling the elongation of the spine. Keep the control of the front ribs as we work on our overhead shoulder range. And then we breathe out and reach the arms back down. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, send the arms up with our rib cage control. Now we're going to exhale, roll the spine forward. Feeling a little puff between my upper back to help mobilize through the upper spine. Place the heels of the hands on the box. Send the carriage out, aiming toward the flat back position, and you're going to roll the pelvis around the head of the thigh bones. Hopefully, legs are still straight up and down. Then you're going to exhale, imprint and curl through the spine. Drawing the carriage back with control. Carriage hips home, release the arms, and roll the spine all the way up. Repeat that again. Breathing in, sending the arms up with rib cage control. Breathing out, roll the spine down. Hands find the edge of the box. Inhale, press the box out as we roll the spine towards neutral. My sit bones facing back, my shoulders connected well into my trunk. Exhale to round the spine. Enjoying that nice opening through the lower back. Box comes, carriage comes all the way in. Roll the spine back up. Last time. Inhale to reach. And roll all the way up. Cool. Okay, box is coming off. Popping it to the side. Now I'm going to have my blueprint springs on for leg and footwork, so 2.5. And just continuing first into our warm-up. So we're going to practice our seated breathing again. So cross-legged. I'm going to bring my hands onto the side of the foot part, fingertips just touching, and then finding curved shape. So the feeling of imprinting off my sit bones drawing towards each other, spine flexed from head to tail in an even curve. That little bit of a maybe fingertip press into the foot bar to feel the connection of the arm shoulder into the trunk, and practicing our posterior lateral breath in into the backs and sides of the ribs. As we exhale, starting to deepen, wrap a little bit more into the abdominal wall. Breathing in. Breathing out. Easy head neck. Practicing opening the backs and sides of the ribs without losing the abdominal wall connection. Then exhale, trying to print, wrap, connect that a little bit stronger. I'm really feeling this nice stretch across my upper back, lower back as well. Last one. And exhale. And Rolling the spine up tall. I'm going to have a block between my knees. Getting myself down into a roll back, but you can always turn and roll onto your side. I'm going to do a pelvic curl, so my headrest is down. Lock between my knees, and then I'm going to start my imprint. Roll down. I'm beginning to develop a little bit more strength in my abdominals, but I think today I'm still going to give myself my hands on a little bit more assistance to connect well into my torso as I roll down. Okay, so bring feet up onto the foot bar. Just take a moment to print here. So finding shoulders onto the shoulder rests, heavy head, heavy backs of ribs, slight lightness through lumbar spine, neutral pelvis, thigh bones corkscrewing sitting into the back of the hip, and the alignment between the hip joint, the knee joint, and the ankle joint. Breath in. And print. Connect the body into the floor, into the mat. One more breath in. Breath out. First pelvic curl. Breathe in. Exhale. Imprint. Sit bones drawing towards each other as they were in our seated breathing. Curling the spine up. Heels gently connected into the foot bar. Knees reaching forward, opening up through the front of the hips, working through the backs of the hips. My upper abdominals, lower ribs are still connected, so I haven't flared or extended or overused my back. Exhale, tumble the spine down. Softening the breastplate. Softening the ribs. Rolling through. When you get to the imprint, just take a moment, pop your hands on, check that you've got that nice hollow. We haven't got that braced, locked abdominal connection. And back to neutral pelvis. Here we go again. Breath in. Exhale, gentle hollow of tummy as we imprint. Foot to back of hip connection. Roll the spine. Working on your articulation for today, noticing any tight bits. At the top, taking a breath in. And exhale, roll down. Using gravity assist to work on that individual spinal articulation. Hopefully, the next up phase gets a little better, feels a little looser. One more time. Finding the pelvic curl position at the top. Open wide across collarbones, open wide across the upper back. Open through the front of the hips, stretched out through the knees. We're going to stay here and do some extensions. Inhale and pressing out. Trying to think my pubic is still curling towards my nose. Exhale, pull. Let's go again. Working through the back of the hips, hugging the block to connect the inner legs. Exhale, pull. 3 more. Waking up the hamstrings. Last one. Holding the carriage still, squeezing those hamstrings to pull it in and roll. Back. Down. Woo, okay. If you need to bring the headrest up for leg and footwork, you can do that now. Backs of my legs are nice and engaged. Heels still on, feeling that corkscrew to the back of the hip. Here's our doubles on our heels. Breathe in, get ready. Exhale. Lifting the seat muscles to reach our spines away. Check neutral pelvis at the top. Check the stability of the lumbar and the contour. Exhale. And back. Block still feeling good. for my inner legs right now. Always nice to get something in our parallel positions with feedback, whether that's the foot or ankle or the knee. Connect that inner chain. Last one on the heels. For my toes, I'm going to bring my block now, hugging with the big toes and with the inner ankle bone. I'm going to find my 5 toes on the foot bar. That little heel raised position, so not too high but not pressed under, that sort of mid-range, which I'm going to work now to see if I can maintain. Exhale, reach away. Coming back in. Lifting from the seat muscles, pulling up the knees, come back in. Checking ribs are nice and heavy. There's suspension and lift through our waist. 2 more on the toes. Staying up, half rises. Inhale to reach down. Exhale, rising up. Blocks feeling good between my ankles for the awareness of my alignment. Controlling through the range. Avoiding hanging at the bottom position. And thinking that I'm using my full foot, ankle, lower leg, all the way into the upper leg for my rise. Boom. Last half rise and pulling the carriage through. I'm going to take my block out, still on the toes, into prances, pressing the carriage out, thinking a little bit more about the stability of the pelvis as we go into the quads. Breathing in for 2, breathing out for 2. Knee as it bends faces straight up to the ceiling. A little bit of pace to challenge the stability. Calves are starting to feel nice and warm. Last few. And coming all the way back in. I'm going to stay on my toes today for single toes with extension. So the leg on the foot bar on the toes, the leg that comes up into the single leg lift can have the long plantar flexed foot position. And then just taking a moment to print, connect the leg group, noting what's required to hold the legs in this position, breathing in. Breathe out, activating through the supporting leg, and sending the open chain leg up towards the ceiling. I've kept my 2.5 springs. You could drop it down a little bit if you felt like you lost the positioning of your spine of this, and come back home. Coordination of the 2 legs straightening at the same time. And returning. Exhale. And let's go last one. Pressing out. To change legs, I'm going to bring the toe up. Find my single leg lift. Draw the carriage back in. Check on pelvic stability. Exhale out. Leg up to the ceiling. 2 knees flex back in. Coordination. Ease through the upper body. Last one. And coming back in. Okay, abdominals today. So I'm going to bring my block back. So if you've been following along my classes with me, you know I'm recovering from having my second baby. So abdominal strength, I have been working on building back up again. I still don't feel like I'm ready to do arm supine. But I feel like now I'm going to start to add in a little bit of my chest, almost like a preparation for 100. So the block between my knees is going to help with the connection into my inner leg, into the pelvis. First few, I'm going to take one hand behind my head, like I would in chest 2, and one hand to my lower tummy, just to give you that feedback that I'm finding that gentle sink connection as I flex my spine forward, and I'm not letting the abdominal wall hop and push up into my hand. So taking a breath in, sinking the tummy down gently on the exhale, and starting to slide forwards, my front ribs, lumbar spine flattening. Inhale and lower. And again, abdominal wall falls, gently connects as I roll up. So I'm shortening through my front wall and I'm stretching through my back wall, so there's no gap underneath my lumbar spine now. Roll back down. Switch hands. Two more shoulders until they fix this side. And go exhale. And inhale to lower. Tummy connects, drops, sinks. No push up into the hand. Glide back down. Feeling good through my lower tummy connection now. So I'm going to do a few preparation for hundreds. So this would be imagining I have the strap in my hand. Yep, a nice neutral wrist. Feeling the connection of the arm bone into the shoulder socket, into the trunk. Breath in to prepare. Exhale, tummy connects again. This time reaching forward through my arms as I roll my spine up into my chest. Take a breath here. Exhale, sink the tummy further. Inhale, roll the spine down. And again, breath in, prepare. Exhale, tummy gently connects. Spine rolls forward. Only coming up as high as you feel the inner waist maintaining its connection. Stretching through the arms. Breath in posterior laterally. Exhale, tummy sinking a bit more. Lift the arms up, the spine lowers. Let's do that twice more. And spine wheels down. Okay, strength is coming back, awareness is coming back. All right, let's roll up to the side. And then what can go away? Changing the springs for our leg strap work. So movement 1.5. And then lying back down onto the carriage. So safely getting legs in straps, taking the loops off, straightening out the two legs. One foot comes in, hold on to that strap, and then the other foot comes in. Finding our little frog position. So the knees not too turned out, if you think about shoulder distance apart. Neutral alignment of the spine and pelvis, so weight through the tail. The suspension through the muscles of the torso. Printing the head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms. Inhale, prepare. Exhale to press away. So feet into straps, assisting that connection into the hamstring. Pressing away, know that we have to turn up the tummy muscles as the lever load gets greater. And then breathing, can you keep the space for your spine? And return. We go again. Exhale to reach. Drawing back home. Flexing at the front of the hip. Hip extension on the out. Softening through the front of the hip to return. Exhale. Thinking that the feet are sliding along on the same sort of line. So if you imagined a plane flying at the same altitude, not going up and down. Do 2 more. And you're into openings low, pressing the legs out. And then as you breathe in, carriage pulls home. As the leg reach out to the side, a little bit of inner thigh stretch. Exhale again, tummy deepens, inner thigh work, flows back together still in the turn up. Breath in and we open. Exhale to close. Take 2 more. Nice and still through pelvis and spine. Last one. Knees hands on to check your connection. And bending the knees back in. So again, today we're going to do our preparation for short spine. And we'll take that up into the full short spine after that. So headrest will be down. Back into our frog leg start. As we exhale, reach the legs away. Keeping the spiral through the femurs, we draw the legs towards us. Bit of a hamstring stretch. And you're going to allow the pelvis to lift off into the imprint. Yep, tummy is connected to maintain that spine pelvis position. Thighs are going to maintain their distance away from the torso. Begin to pull on the heel like a hamstring curl. You feel that activation through the back of the leg. As it's starting to find the frog leg position, then you're rolling the pelvis back towards our start and then press out and go again. Legs draw in. Back line stretch of the body, tummy is gently connected. And then we pull on the legs. Find the frog position as you roll your pelvis back. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale, begin the pull. Inhale, roll back. Press out. So it keeps flowing. There's not really any stop. Too much in any position. Press back out. Full version. Draw the legs towards you, imprinting. Try and get the carriage to close. Still turned out the legs. Straps are taut. Roll the spine. Using the connection of the arms down into the bed. The feeling of suspension lift through the waist. Pull the knees into the frog position, thinking that the knees are sort of over the top of the eyebrows. Now holding my frog shape, distance between torso and thigh doesn't change. Distance between thigh and heel doesn't change. Roll the spine back down, gently pulling on the straps. Working with spinal articulation, hence the category we're in. Back to our neutral pelvis. We go again. Press the legs out. Drawing the legs towards you. Finding that back line stretch. Exhale, roll up. Working through the back of the hips. Bend the knee into the front. Still taut on the straps. Begin to roll the spine down. Bringing the feet, the straps with you. Back to neutral pelvis and our floor. Let's try that one more time. Pressing out. Enjoying that deep back line stretch. And we're back in our front position, back in our neutral. That's the start position. Okay, one foot out, finding the foot bar. And just take it over there, let the back settle up to being in that inverted shape. Okay, rolling off to the side. I'm going to come into our reverse knee stretch. So I'm going just a light spring, a glue. I don't want it to be too loaded through my arms because I'm continuing to focus on the strength of the torso. Carriage is obviously a little light, so just be aware when you are climbing on. We're going to bring the knees onto the shoulder rests. Okay. So essentially our quadruped position. Bringing the hands a little forward. Further forward you go and you pull the carriage off, it's going to be a stronger pull in the spring. So choose wisely. All right, I'm going to start to draw the carriage off the stopper. Find my hand and shoulder in a straight line. Find my knee and my hip in a straight. So my flat back position, just breathing. Sit bones are wide. Lumbar neutral. Imagine there's a little pool of water that you're hanging on to. One more breath in. Then I'm going to do my flat back knee pull, breathing in. Exhale. From the deep tummy, from the deep hip, doing a slow, small pull of the legs a little bit closer towards the shoulders. Inhale and release it up. Exhale. Imagine the sit bones getting wider as the knees pull. Shins heavy into the bed. Come back. One more flat back. And pull. Take a breath in. Can you find your round back? Femur head still. Pelvis rolling around. Nodding the head down. Yes, connected from the hand, wrist, elbow, shoulder, trunk. But try not to over push through shoulder blades. Really work on that lumbar curve. Breathing in. Breathe out. Deepen the tummy. Draw the legs a little closer. Can you find more roundness through your lower back? Are you able to maintain the round lower back? Let the legs come back. We go again next. Deep tummy. 3 more. Last one. And release out. Hard to talk during that one. Oh. And coming up. Oh, so really big back opening because of that connection into the abdominals. Hopefully relating that back, you could feel a similar shape that we were doing our breathing in our warm-up. Okay, carefully coming off with the light spring. And then going into up stretch 1. So I'm going to add my red spring. So I've got 1.5 on. Carefully standing onto the carriage. I'm going to bring my hands on first. Legs coming up. Finding the hands wrapping around the foot bar. Feet coming to the shoulder rest. So a little bit of a heel raise. The toes on the bed, heels on the shoulder rest position. Flat back position with a slight imprint, so lower abdominals connected. Feel like you're wrapping the armpits to face towards the knees rather than them facing out to the side where I haven't got much of a, can't feel my neck. I'm going to get that wrap and hold. Hopefully you can see that one. All right, just taking head and neck are in a good alignment, front ribs are connected. Breathing and pressing into the shoulder rests, awareness of the hip extensors. And then exhale, drawing the carriage closed. Inhale, we press, and press. Legs continue to pull up. Maintain your shoulder connection. Last few. Awesome. And rest. Carefully stepping down. All right, going into basic lunge. I'm going to take my blue spring off, so just the bed. Back foot tucked under on the shoulder rest, a bit of that toe stretch. Front foot right towards the front of the carriage. 2 hands on the very end of the foot bar, so they've got a nice square shoulder. Pressing a little bit back, with the carriage leg, but also the sense of the front knee reaching forwards. Thinking a little bit like an imprint. You're trying to open up that hip line, lifting up through the waist, head and neck, all in a good alignment as well. Press into the foot bar as we stretch out for part 2, which is the hamstring stretch on that front leg. Watching the head and neck alignment, always tricky, and pull back in. One more set, part 1, hip flexor stretch. Part 2, hamstring stretch. Pull the carriage all the way in. Let's do one more. And coming all the way in. Okay, standing up. And then cross to the other side. Walk out of the way. Front foot nice and close to the front edge of the carriage. Bit of a toe stretch. Good for our mobility. Little bit of a press back. Thinking that we've got the imprint to open up that front line. And then part 2, hamstring stretch. Join. Thinking about the alignment of the rest of the body. Hamstring stretch. And coming all the way back in. Okay, we're going to go into our seated arms. I'm going to sit with long legs. If you're challenged with either hamstring length or deep back strength, you could sit yourself up on a little box, or you could pop the box on, the long box on. All right, sitting fairly far back, you only need a little bit of a gap for the space behind you. And our first one is our lat press. So finding a neutral wrist position, so we're not sort of flexed or extended throughout. The sense that there's almost like a little puff through the armpit, so I'm not dragging the head of my shoulder down. A real challenge to sit up nice and tall. Taking a breath in, and breathing out, pulling on the strap. I've still got my one red. You could drop it to a blue. Inhale, release about halfway without completely letting the tension go. Exhale. Finding that vertical lift through our spine. Nice straight elbows so the pull comes from the head of the shoulder. And release. Exhale. Avoiding the front ribs flaring. Last lat press. Bicep curls. Good. Head of shoulder, elbow as much in a straight line as possible. Can you keep the lift of the elbow? Exhale and pull. Keep thinking vertical spine. Posture number 1 address. Avoid leaning back if you can. Last bicep curl. Rhomboids. Elbows into the straps. Palms facing towards you. Again, that head of shoulder to elbow roughly in a straight line. As we breathe out, starting to open the arms. Avoid flaring the ribs. Avoid over retracting the shoulder blades. Can you think about the space? Across the collarbone, across the upper back, out through the humerus to the elbow, and return back, breathing. Exhale. Thinking height, thinking upper back width. Return. Drop to a blue if you need to. Two more. Last one. Exhale. Find a little bit more space. Find a little bit more height. And release. Okay, I'm going to turn around and do the purgatory and the loop facing forwards. You could sit cross-legged. Yep, if that helps with the lift up through the lower back, or straight legs with the thighs pulled up. Finding my big hover tree position and exhaling, little tree, broken out to the side, keeping a good shoulder connection to the trunk. Exhale, we pull. And open. Chest is lifted without flaring the ribs. Lower back support. Vertical spine. 2 more. And last one. Keeping the arms in the little hugger tree position. Then we're going to flip and bring ourselves into our salute. Slightly hinged forward. Again, if you need to cross your legs, you could do that. If you need to drop to a blue spring, you could do that. Exhale. Reaching the arms diagonally away. And draw back home. Fingertips staying connected the whole time. Elbows wide as you come back. All body challenge right now. Last 2. And release. Yay. Straps go back on. Going to a side reach. I'm going to keep my red spring sitting in the Z sit position. Take a moment, let the hips sink down. It won't feel as connected to the bed as your front hip will. Hand just slightly forward on the shoulder rest, finding that good connection into the shoulder. We exhale, press out to our T. Carriage doesn't move. Top palm rotates. Inhale to reach over. Opening up the space in the top ribs. Back to the T position. Close the carriage home. And we go. Exhale to press. Wrapping into the shoulder. Breathe in, tip over. Without losing our good underneath shoulder connection or the underneath waist connection. Back to the T shape. Good shoulder placement as we return. 2 more. Last one. This time from our side bend, we're going to rotate towards the foot bar. Top hand comes on, and then see if you maybe slide the other arm out. And then rotating the torso, shoulders as much to square off with the foot bar as possible. Think that you're in that round breathing position that we're at the start, and we're practicing our posterior lateral breath here. More for the stretch, really. So breathing in, and then breathing out. Getting good tummy connection, breathing in, breathing out. Feeling really nice through my rib cage mobility right now. Breath in, breathing out. Back hand's going to slide forward, back into the side reach position, and come back. We might just do one more just to notice the difference maybe in our torso mobility. We go tip to the T. Side bend over. Oh yeah, that feels freer. Come back to the T. Close back in. All right, other side. Finding the setup. Hand just slightly forward of the shoulder, so we have good placement throughout. Tip to the T as we breathe in. Breathe out to side bend. Carriage not moving there. Back to the T shape. Draw with good shoulder placement. And we go tip. Side reach. Coming back. Come back in. Oh, and I'm just getting hip cramp. Sorry, I'm just going to stretch it out for a second. I'm sure you will experience that at some stage. All right, got two more. So we go tip. Side bend. Coming back. And in. Last one, this one we added tip. Side bend. Rotate towards the foot bar. Two hands come on so that they're at their widest. And think that you're in a round position like we had at the breathing at the start. So curve from my head to my tail, almost a feeling of imprinting here. Breathing in, particularly into my left ribs right now. Breathing out. Shoulders falling away from the ears. Definitely not as tight on this side. 2 more breaths. And last one. And then bringing the back hand forward, tipping into the side reach. Coming back, and we'll do one more just to see if that feels a little bit more mobile on your body. Tip. Side bend. Oh yeah. Back to the T. Return us home. Great. Okay, we're going to bring the long box back on for some extension work. Into our pulling straps. Placing the box on, I'm going to bring my foot bar down. And I'm just going to go on a blue screen at half. So that I can get a couple of reps in without over fatiguing too quickly. Through shoulder girdle. And placing the hands on the front of the box. And then sliding. So bra strap on the edge of the box, legs stretched way behind, either adductors together or a little bit apart. If a little bit apart, you might like something between your ankles for that connection. Taking the straps off and holding, I'm holding sort of just above the silver. And then start position, flex forward, almost like I'm giving the box in here. On the exhale, starting to connect the shoulders to the back, floating the face. Swinging the arms along the wood to bring yourself up into like a back extension position. Punching through the knuckles, thinking that the little fingers are on the sort of like top of the hand up towards the ceiling. So I'm not rotated with my palms, which would be up. I find that then hard to open my chest. So if I rotate my palms in, giving that a little bit easier chest opening. And then with inhale, roll the spine down. Exhale, arms connect to back, float the face. Lifting up into the back extension, a little bit more support through the waist. And inhale. Exhale, cool. Long head to tail. Over. Give it one more. Connect the arms to the back. And roll back. Right, straps go backwards. Rolling off carefully to the side. Felt that a lot in my legs. Okay, and then to finish for our cool down, a little bit of balance work, a little bit of a lunge. So if you step one foot forward, other foot back into like our V position, reach the arms out to the side. This is the standing lunge from our mat work. So as we breathe in, we're going to lunge the front knee forward. Think about alignment of where that front knee is positioned. Back leg is straight. You can pick the back heel off. I'm long through my lumbar, so there's a slight pitch forward. And then you come back and press the back heel down. Lunge forward as you breathe in. And exhale. Press the back heel down. Touch a little calf stretch. Lunge forward. Stay here. Roll the spine down. Bringing maybe fingertips to the floor, or could be full palm flat and straightening through the front leg. Can press the back heel down as well. Think about the front leg, you're trying to suck the hip backwards, and the back leg, you're trying to draw the hip forwards to square off the pelvis as much as possible. Come back into your front leg lunge. Try not to change the lunge. You should, if done well, feel is in your glutes, so my left glute. Rolling the spine slowly up and forward into the lunge. And then just to top it all off, can we transfer the weight forward onto our standing leg, into a single leg lift, hands behind the head. And just take a moment to breathe. One leg balance. Thigh really pulled up. Top of the spine reaching up. Maybe even a little heel rise. And then roll that back down. All right, other side. Into a V position. Arms reaching out, maybe just slightly forward so the ribs aren't flat. And we go lunge forward, breathing in. And press the back heel down. Think about the leg through the lumbar on the lunge. Alignment of the front knee. Press back down. Forward lunge, stay. Roll towards the floor. Palm or just fingertips down. Straightening out the front leg. Lowering the heel. If that feels good. Think about the squareness of the pelvis. Front leg, try and draw that hip backwards. Back leg, think about drawing the front of the hip bone forwards. Stretching out through the legs. Back into the front lunge. Alignment of the knee. Connecting into the back of the hip. Trying to keep that deep lunge. Roll the spine up. Transferring the weight onto the standing leg. Bring yourself single leg lift, hands behind the head. Elbows a little forward, helping to connect the ribs. Strong pull up of the leg you're standing on. So quad muscle on. And then see if you can just hover the heel a little bit off. Back down. Leg down. Ah! And we're all done. Thanks for coming.